Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. And if you're a true General Hospital fan, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Now, let's get started with today's video. General Hospital, GH, spoilers indicate that Giovanni Palmieri, Giovanni Mazza, will foil Willow Kane's, Caitlin McMullen, attempt to drown Drew Kane, Cameron Matheson. Summer preview spoilers hint that Gio will save the life of someone who will upset many people. So let's take a look at what will happen in future GH storylines. Willow is frantic to keep Drew in his locked-in state because she is running out of paralytic medication and has no blackmail evidence to keep him quiet. Jack Brennan, Chris McKenna, and Nina Reeves, Cynthia Watros, are feverishly searching for his black box, which contains incriminating information against Drew, but they have yet to uncover it. Meanwhile, Willow has been giving Drew small dosages of the medication she has left, and he is gradually regaining mobility. Drew can move his hands and feet, and on Wednesday, July 15th, viewers saw him say the word Willow. Drew is on the verge of reverting to his former personality, so Willow must act quickly to stop him. Willow has also considered ending Drew's life out of pure desperation. Willow naively told Drew that she was the one who shot him and sent him into the locked-in nightmare he is currently experiencing. If Drew regains his communication skills, he has the potential to shatter Willow's life, causing her to lose not only her job but also access to her children. Willow is not beyond murder, but she must use extreme caution when carrying it out. Drew has previously been subdued with a gun and drugs, so she may devise another strategy to put him down permanently. Drew has some mobility, but if Willow wheels him close to the sea, will he be able to swim out? Willow could go to the Metro Court pool with Drew, but he's known to send strange messages to others, which has raised red flags for some. Look at you, Kai Taylor, Jens Austin Astrup, and Elizabeth Liz Baldwin, Rebecca Herbst. So this is a big risk. What if Willow unintentionally brought Drew to the Quartermain estate? She could bring him along when she delivers Wiley Corinthos, Byron Weaver, and Amelia Corinthos, an unknown actress, to Michael Corinthos, Rory Gibson. Willow may explain that Drew's mental health is deteriorating and that he has always enjoyed looking over the lake near the Q boathouse. Willow may claim she is bringing him there to provide him some solace. Of course, Willow will arrange to shove Drew into the lake while no one is looking, expecting that nature would take its course, and he will become a problem she won't have to deal with. The plan was that she moved him near the edge, turned around for a split second, and the chair slid into the sea. Willow isn't educated in aquatic life-saving procedures, so she may scream for help just for show, knowing no one will come to her aid. Having said that, Gio has been spending a lot of time at the Q home lately, seeing his mother, Brooklyn Quartermain, Amanda Seton, and hanging out with his baby sister, Phoebe Wilson, Lucia, and Luna Creighton. Willow has no idea that Gio could be right around the corner, and he will hear her urgent calls for help. Gio is a qualified lifeguard, so he'll know just what to do. Gio is a wonderful person, thus it won't matter whether Drew drowns or what he did to the Quartermains. The young man will only worry about saving his uncle's life. General Hospital spoilers indicate that Gio will be a hero in Drew's and everyone else's eyes, except Willow's. So would he be the one to throw a wrench in her plans? The tension in the Kane household had been growing for weeks, a silent storm seething beneath Willow Tate Kane's carefully crafted exterior. Poor Charles was no stranger to secrets, betrayals, and desperate methods, but Willow's plunge into darkness caught even the most cynical locals off guard. Drew Kane, her husband, a powerful congressman and heir to the Quartermain estate, was now confined to his bed, his body a prison due to the paralytic medications she delivered with clinical precision. The drug, provided by the enigmatic Jen Sidwell, kept Drew in a condition of near-total immobility, aware, hearing every word, feeling every touch, but unable to speak or move sufficiently to expose her. Willow sat by his bedside on that steamy July evening, the room softly illuminated by a single bulb spreading long shadows on the walls adorned with family portraits that now seemed like mocking relics. Scout was safe with Alexis for the night, giving Willow the privacy she craved and required for her plans. Her hands trembled slightly when she adjusted the foredrip, but her nurse's training had made the actions automatic. "You brought this on yourself, Drew," she said, her voice full of sadness and steel. You thought you could take everything away from me, my children, my reputation, my future, but I won't let you destroy us. Drew's eyes, the only portion of him that still showed his rage and terror, flew toward her. He had been regaining tiny slivers of control, enough to knock over a medical bag earlier and alert young Kai that something was very wrong. Willow had obviously caught on. Her paranoia had escalated into something dangerous. The black box of evidence against her, proof of Drew's own wrongdoing that could have been used as leverage, was missing, and Sidwell's supply of the paralytic was running low. She couldn't risk his full recovery.
Not now.
Not when the walls were closing in on her with rumors of a vehicle accident on Route 91 and her involvement in more sinister activities. Her plan had emerged in the dead of night, born of desperation and a warped sense of security. The Metro Court Pool area, with its individual cabanas and proximity to the ocean, provided an ideal cover. Late at night, after the people had fled, she might organize an accident. Will Drew out under the guise of fresh air and therapy, then let the depths claim him. A drowning for a man who is already frail from his illness would raise concerns, but with her medical knowledge, she could portray it as a tragic slip, a failed attempt at independence. There is no more locked-in condition to worry about. No more blinkered accusations. Just peace for herself, Nina, and the family she was working to keep together. She examined the clock. Midnight approached. Gio Palmieri, the young Quartermain Corinthos heir with a violinist's soul and a growing sense of justice, has recently hovered about the boundaries of her existence. As Brooklyn's and Dante's son, he bore the weight of two prominent families. He'd stopped by earlier that day, offering to help with scout or run errands, his soft brown eyes probing hers with an innocence that made her nervous. "If you need anything, Mrs. Kane, just say the word," he'd urged, his voice firm in the midst of family upheaval. Willow had smiled firmly and ordered him away, but she knew Gio had strong protective instincts, especially for those he considered fragile. Willow prepared Drew's wheelchair by slipping a sedative into his minimal oral intake to guarantee cooperation. Her heart hammered as she guided him to the back entrance of the house, where her car sat in the shadows. The drive to Metro Court was brief, and the streets were calm beneath the summer moon. Drew's eyes pleaded with her in the rearview mirror, but she concentrated on the road, humming an old song to drown out the guilt gnawing at her chest. "This is for the kids," she chanted like a mantra. "For Wiley and Amelia. For Scout. You would have torn us apart." The pool deck was desolate, the water reflecting like black glass under the security lights. Willow had scouted it out days before, cameras with blind areas near the deep end, and a loose handrail she could accidentally use. She positioned the wheelchair to the edge, her breath coming in quick gasps. "It's almost over, Drew. You'll be free, and so will I." Her hands clutched the handles, ready to push. A voice pierced through the night, like a bow on strings. "Willow, what are you doing here?" Gio asked, emerging from behind a cabana with his violin case draped over his shoulder. He'd been practicing late, seeking consolation in music amidst the discoveries about his origins and the tumult that was engulfing Port Charles. His eyes widened as he took in the scene. Willow, disheveled and panicked, and Drew, slumped on the chair, his face a mask of dread despite his paralysis. "Gio," Willow murmured, forcing a calm tone. "This isn't what it looks like."
Drew wanted some air.
"He's been restless, and I thought the water might help stimulate him. You know, sensory therapy." Joe's glance shifted to Drew's eyes, which were blinking rapidly, a signal the young man had come to recognize from previous hospital visits. Something wasn't right. Very wrong. "Mr. Kane doesn't seem to be enjoying this, and it's past visiting hours. The pool is closed." Willow's facade cracked. "Please just go. This is a family matter. Drew's my husband. I know what's best for him." But Gio didn't leave. He placed down his violin case and approached slowly, having been trained by the Cerullo family's tenacity and Corinthos' aptitude for detecting danger. "I saw you pushing him toward the edge. That's not therapy. That's..." "Willow, what are you thinking? He's not even responding right. Let me call someone, Chase, or Aunt Brooklyn." Willow was overcome with panic. She rushed forward, attempting to push the wheelchair, but Gio moved faster. With remarkable power for his small body, he grasped the handles and dragged it back, the wheels squeaking against the damp deck. Drew's body shifted slightly, marking a minor win in his immobility. "Stop," Gio exclaimed, his voice echoing over the river. "Whatever this is, it's not the way. I know things are messed up, with the accident suspicions, the shooting trial echoes, everything, but drowning him?
That's not you.
The Willow who cares for patients, who fights for her kids. That's not this." Willow collapsed to her knees, the fight draining from her. Tears streamed down her face. "You don't understand. He's going to ruin everything. He already took so much. The drugs, Sidwell. I had no choice. If he wakes up fully, he'll expose me, take the kids, and destroy Nina. I just wanted it to end quietly." Gio knelt beside her, his hand gentle on her shoulder, while keeping one eye on Drew. "It doesn't have to end like this. Secrets come out in Port Charles, but so does redemption. My own life flipped upside down when I learned about Brooklyn and Dante. I was angry, lost. But violence? It only makes the cage tighter. Let me help you. We'll get Drew back inside. Call Lucas or Elizabeth. There has to be another way." Drew's eyes met Joe's, expressing gratitude in their limited motion. The young man took out his phone and dialed emergency contacts while putting himself between Willow and the water. Minutes later, sirens blasted in the distance as Chase and his team arrived, alerted by Joe's urgent call. Willow was hauled into custody for interrogation, and her breakdown revealed bits of the paralytic scheme as well as her deepest anxieties. In the days that followed, the narrative reverberated across Port Charles like waves from that near-fatal night. Nina arrived at the station in tears, her relationship with Willow breaking beneath the weight of reality. "My daughter, what have you become?" she said during her brief visit. Brooklyn grabbed Gio closely, pride and fear mixed in her gaze. "You did the right thing, kid, even if it hurts the family." Dante patted his son on the back, the intricate bonds of blood and decision stronger in crisis. Drew was transported to General Hospital, where Lucas Jones worked frantically to counteract the effects of the paralytic. Drew's first words, as sensation returned to his limbs, were scratchy but clear. "Thank you, Gio. You saved more than my life. You stopped her from becoming something she can't come back from." Willow waited in a holding room, reality crashing down. Her scheme, born of mother rage and self-preservation, had been foiled by an unlikely hero, a violin-playing youngster figuring out his own identity. Doctors confirmed Drew's recovery, albeit therapy would be lengthy. Willow faced mounting evidence, including drugs, GPS abnormalities, and her own admissions made under pressure. However, in typical soap opera style, threads of pity formed. Some saw her love for her children as humanizing, despite its twisted nature. Gio paid her a visit once, despite advice. "I stopped you because I believe in second chances," he explained quietly through the glass. "Port Charles is full of them. Fight for yours the right way." Willow nodded, damaged but perhaps not beyond repair. The drowning scheme became another legend in town, a cautionary tale about how far a mother will go and how one young man's intervention may change lives. Meanwhile, life went on. Gio played his violin under the stars by the Metro Court Pool, which is now the site of whispered gossip. One evening, the tune a haunting blend of grief and optimism. Trina Robinson joined him, their growing relationship a bright point in the darkness. "You're a hero," she teased softly. "Not a hero," Gio responded, moving his bow over the strings. "Just someone who couldn't watch another family shatter." Drew, recuperating with Scout by his side, mused on betrayal and forgiveness. His relationship with Willow was damaged, but the Quartermain's spirit remained strong. Nina mended parts of her life, promising to support her daughter in legal struggles while guarding her own heart. Chase struggled with his part in unearthing secrets that affected those he loved. His marriage to Brooklyn was tested but endured. The tragedy revealed deeper rot, Sidwell's machinations, the black box mystery on Spoon Island, and unanswered concerns about the Route 91 catastrophe. Curtis, Jordan, and others were brought in as investigations grew more intense. Port Charles teetered on disclosures that may destabilize alliances and love. However, in the silent following, Joe's gesture served as a beacon. A young man, now aware of his history, prefers involvement to indifference. He rehearsed his music with renewed purpose, the melodies carrying echoes of that night, the mist splash, the halting push, and the life preserved. Willow's cubicle became a place for reflection. Scout's letters arrived, innocent and sweet, and pierced her heart. "Mommy, please come home soon," she cried, the weight of her acts greater than any paralytic. Therapy sessions began, compulsory and harsh, with her confronting the dark Willow that had grown after years of grief, affairs, and power conflicts. Drew recovered enough to speak to the reporters momentarily, his voice steady. "My wife needs help. We all do in this town. But violence solves nothing." His comments, filled with grief, rang true. Families assembled. Sonny Corinthos, ever the patriarch, drew Gio aside. "Blood or not, you're one of us. You protected your own." Dante related anecdotes from his childhood, mending divides. Brooklyn cooked endless trays of Italian pastries to cope with the revelation of her own prior plots. As the summer heat lingered, other romances arose, possibly between Gio and Emma Scorpio Drake, who shared an artistic vision. Tracy Quartermain complained about foolish sentimentalism, while Laura Collins argued for mercy in family affairs. The near-drowning incident proved to be a watershed moment. Willow was charged, but there was a chance she may plead guilty and receive treatment. Drew concentrated on fatherhood and politics, and his body healed alongside his spirit. Gio, the fate stopper, continued his way, violin in hand, ready for whatever music Port Charles would play next. Finally, the waters of the Metro Court pool reflected not just lights, but also the endurance of souls caught up in love, hatred, and redemption. One rash decision, thousands of unspoken messages, and a society forever altered by a single act of bravery on a moonlit night. The twilight air near the port was heavy with mist, matching the storm gathering inside Willow. She stood alone beside the lake, her mind racing faster than she could manage. Everything in her life had become a jumbled mess. Her connection with her children was strained, her future unclear, and her love for Drew had led her to do decisions she never expected to undertake. She wrapped her arms around herself and stared at the black sea below. The sound of distant waves slamming on the docks resonated throughout the night. At that point, she felt entirely alone. For weeks, she had convinced herself that giving up everything for Drew was the correct decision. She believed that if she battled hard enough and gave up enough, things would finally turn out okay. But now she wasn't so certain. Every avenue appeared to lead to more suffering. Tears welled up in her eyes as memories came flooding back. She reflected on happier times, when life felt easy and full of optimism. Those days seemed so far away. "What are you doing out here?" the familiar voice said, startling her. Willow turned to see Gio standing a few feet away. Concern was written all over his face. "Gio," she inquired quietly, "what are you doing here?" "I could ask you the same thing." He took a step closer, analyzing her expression. It didn't take him long to understand something was very wrong. "You look like you've been crying." "I'm fine." "No, you're not." Willow glanced away, unwilling to face his gaze. "I just needed some fresh air." "At this hour? Alone?" Gio shook his head. "I don't believe that." They fell silent. Finally, Willow spoke. "Sometimes people make choices that change everything." "That's true. And sometimes those choices hurt everyone around them." Joe's tone softened. "Whatever happened, you don't have to face it alone." A tear rolled down her cheek. "You don't understand. Then help me understand." Willow shut her eyes. She'd been carrying her burdens alone for so long that she didn't know how to share them. "I thought I knew what I wanted," she said. "I thought following my heart would make things better. And now I feel like I'm drowning." Those comments struck Gio deeply. He got even closer. "You're not drowning. It feels that way." "Then let someone help you." Willow took a hesitant breath. I've hurt so many people. We all make mistakes. Not like this. You'd be surprised. She finally glanced at him. Gio remained calm. I don't know how to fix any of it. Maybe you don't fix everything tonight. Then what do I do? You take one step at a time. She let out a bitter laugh. It can't be that simple. No, but giving up isn't an option either. Willow returned her gaze to the sea. Gio was briefly concerned by the look in her eyes. He remembered reading stories about people reaching a breaking point and doing desperate decisions because they couldn't see any other way forward. Willow. She did not respond.
Tell me honestly.
Were you planning to do something tonight that you'd regret? Her silence was sufficient. Joe's heart raced. He walked right in front of her. Listen to me. Whatever you're thinking, don't do it. Tears flowed freely now. I'm so tired. I know. No, you don't. Maybe not exactly. But I know what it looks like when someone feels hopeless. Willow sighed. Everything is falling apart. Then let it fall apart for a while. She was perplexed. What? You don't have to keep holding everything together. I have responsibilities. And you still will tomorrow. What if tomorrow is worse? Joe's tone became more stern. What if tomorrow is better?
She didn't respond.
The wind picked up around them. You matter, Willow, he said softly. More than you realize. She averted her gaze again. I've made terrible decisions.